While the world waits for a comet, NASA has triggered a silent countdown. Behind closed doors, the Artemis II mission has leapt from a distant promise to a 60-day deadline, which means humans are now set to leave Earth by February 2026. This is not a routine schedule change. It is an unannounced race against time, with lives at stake and safety checks under pressure. How did the most ambitious lunar mission in 50 years shift into high gear? And what is the real risk if anything slips? The answers begin with the quiet acceleration almost no one saw coming. NASA managers stood before reporters in September 2025 and named a new date, February 5th, 2026. That is now the earliest launch window for Artemis II. The official commitment remains no later than April, but the calendar has been quietly reset. What was once a broad, distant promise has become a 2-month margin. Inside the Kennedy Space Center, teams are already working as if the clock cannot slip. Every procedure, every checklist, every hour now bends toward the possibility that in less than 60 days, 4 astronauts will be strapped into Orion, waiting for the countdown to reach zero. The mission is no longer a far-off goal. It's a deadline, and the strain is starting to show. Inside NASA's control rooms, the compressed timeline has forced a new kind of discipline. Schedulers have shifted from the usual step-by-step approach to overlapping work streams wherever possible. Hardware integration, systems verification, and software validation now run in parallel, with teams working around the clock to hold the February window. Every checklist is dissected for tasks that can be safely doubled up, but this approach leaves little room for error recovery. The margin for unexpected setbacks has thinned to almost nothing. While NASA leadership insists that no critical test will be skipped, the reality is a relentless push to fit months of work into weeks. Independent safety panels and watchdogs have voiced concern that, in the rush to launch, the program's risk tolerance is being quietly recalibrated. Yet the public conversation remains subdued, with most attention fixed elsewhere, even as the most complex flight readiness campaign in a generation unfolds under intense pressure. The flight plan for Artemis II is a 10-day loop that will carry 4 astronauts farther from Earth than any human since Apollo 17. After launch, Orion completes 2 orbits around the planet. First a quick 90-minute circuit, then a long high loop lasting nearly a full day. Only after these system checks does the crew commit to deep space. The service module fires, sending Orion on a free return trajectory. This path is designed so that once the capsule leaves Earth's orbit, the combined pull of Earth and the Moon bends its course around the lunar far side and back home, with no further engine burns required. At its most distant, Orion will swing nearly 5,000 nautical miles beyond the Moon, reaching a region no astronaut has ever seen firsthand. The free return design gives a measure of protection if the main engine fails, but it relies on every system, from navigation to life support, performing flawlessly for nearly 10 days in deep space. The Space Launch System now stands fully stacked at Kennedy, its core stage joined to twin solid boosters and the upper stage that will send Orion toward the Moon. For the first time, this rocket is carrying a crew-rated Orion capsule with its Environmental Control and Life Support System, ECLSS, fully operational. Every subsystem inside Orion, from carbon dioxide scrubbers to water recycling, is being tested in ways that cannot be rehearsed in isolation. On Artemis I, these systems ran as prototypes. Now they must keep 4 people alive for 10 days in deep space, with no backup. Ground teams are running wet dress rehearsals, loading the tanks with hundreds of thousands of gallons of cryogenic fuel, running the countdown and monitoring every valve and sensor for faults. Each test is a single shot. If a critical component fails now, there is little time to swap or repair before the window closes. The margin for error is measured in hours, not weeks, as technicians work around the clock to bring every system to flight readiness under the pressure of the new February deadline. Artemis I's return exposed a vulnerability no one could ignore. Post-flight inspection revealed over 100 spots where the AvCoat heat shield had lost chunks of its char layer, evidence that gases trapped inside the material had built up pressure, cracking the surface and ejecting pieces during the skip entry maneuver. Analysts traced the cause to insufficient permeability in some regions of AvCoat, a flaw that allowed thermal energy and decomposition gases to collect during the lull between atmospheric dips. NASA's engineering review, backed by the NESC, confirmed the risk. Under the right conditions, internal gas pressure could force char to delaminate, leaving thinner protection for the crew. With Artemis II's shield already built, the only viable mitigation is a change to the re-entry trajectory, shaping the skip profile to limit gas buildup and keep predicted char loss within conservative margins. Even so, the fix is analytical, not physical. The possibility of unexpected erosion remains, and the risk now rides with the crew. Reid Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen are now sealed off from the outside world. For 2 weeks, contact is tightly limited, no handshakes, no family gatherings, and only a small circle of medical staff. NASA's health stabilization protocol is designed to keep the crew free from infection before launch, but it also heightens the sense of separation. These 4 will soon become the first humans in 50 years to leave Earth's orbit, carrying both personal histories and the weight of new milestones, including the first woman and the first Canadian to travel to deep space, and a team trained for every risk that deep space can offer. In 60 days, 4 lives hinge on choices made now, not by fate, but by human urgency. This countdown reveals what risks we accept when ambition outpaces caution. The world is watching.